The tale begins with a noblewoman named Anastasia and her betrothal to the crown prince unraveling amidst a gathering of highborns. Anastasia, in a moment of candor before the audience, expresses her struggles in comprehending her betrothed. However, the crown prince, in a display of public censure, denounces her as thoughtless, comparing her unfavorably to another girl named Amy, who possesses healing powers. The crown prince's hurtful words escalate, tarnishing Anastasia's reputation and igniting a storm of humiliation supported by the gathered nobles. In another realm and time, our protagonist, Alan, awakens from a dream recalling fragments of a forgotten past life. A life spent immersed in a magical school game on his smartphone. Sensing impending catastrophe, Alan, now a mere villager, resolves to avert the looming disaster threatening his town and loved ones. Despite his recollections of a previous existence, Alan remains steadfast in his devotion to his current reality and his duty to protect those dear to him. As Alan contemplates a course of action over breakfast with his mother, thoughts of Crown Prince Karl Heinz and Anastasia's impending engagement weigh heavily on his mind. With a sense of urgency, Alan realizes he has 8 years to intervene before the fateful engagement and its repercussions unfold. Driven by a sense of responsibility and armed with memories from a virtual past, Alan embarks on a quest to alter destiny's course. Guided by the threads of the game's narrative, Alan encounters Monica, a woman whose words spark a revelation within him. Despite the complexities of his newfound mission, Alan finds solace in his determination to protect Anastasia and restore balance to the kingdom. With Monica's unexpected assistance, Alan takes his first steps towards enacting change, joining the Adventurers Guild and acquiring newfound abilities. As Alan delves deeper into his quest, he confronts the challenges of his chosen path, risking life and limb in pursuit of elusive artifacts and skills. With each triumph and setback, Alan's resolve strengthens, fueled by a sense of purpose and the unwavering support of his mother. In his pursuit of knowledge and power, Alan navigates the intricacies of his world, mindful of the dangers that lurk in the shadows. With each passing day, Alan draws closer to his goal, driven by a singular desire to shape his own destiny and safeguard the future of those he holds dear. Armed with determination and a burgeoning arsenal of skills, Alan embarks on a journey fraught with peril and possibility, guided by the echoes of a past life and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. As the sun began its descent, he pressed on, navigating the map with the finesse of a seasoned explorer, his concealment skill veiling his movements. Even as a mere villager, he moved through the town with a sense of entitlement, akin to that of a diplomat within its walls. On the 3rd day of his expedition, he bore witness to a skirmish between rabbits. By the 4th day, a stubborn cold had taken hold, sparking concern among both his guildmates and his mother. But on the 5th day, as he stood before the ruins, he felt the promise of his efforts drawing near. Just as he dared to believe he was nearing his goal, he spied monsters approaching. Seeking refuge amidst the shattered remnants, he found himself ensnared in a dilemma. Trapped and outnumbered, he pondered how best to leverage his circumstances to his advantage. With the sudden appearance of goblins, the importance of his concealment skill became starkly clear. Aware that its duration was finite, he understood that an influx of goblins would jeopardize his chances of acquiring the coveted skill scroll. Summoning his courage, he steeled himself against mounting nerves, questioning the sudden shift in circumstances. With resolve pulsing through him, he vowed not to retreat empty-handed. Trusting in his abilities and the cheat skill from the game, he boldly confronted the encroaching monsters, clearing a path to the ruins and the basement within. As he ventured deeper, the glow of luminescent moss illuminated his path, a fortuitous alternative to a torch. Though the cavernous depths held a certain allure, he remained vigilant, determined to evade encounters with creatures akin to goblins. His singular focus remained on locating the chamber housing the coveted scroll. Amidst the glittering treasures that beckoned, his thoughts remained fixed on the scroll. Amidst his solitary exploration, he chanced upon a goblin engaged in the creation of a makeshift hoard. Closer inspection revealed the chamber to be a testament to goblin craftsmanship, an element absent from the original game. Speculation brewed within him, suggesting tampering with the game's mechanics. As the goblin's suspicions stirred, relief washed over him when the creatures departed, unaware of his presence. Convinced that his quest had triggered script alterations, he stumbled upon the hidden scroll, buried beneath the chamber's floor. Stealthily evading the goblins, he made his miraculous return home, eager to develop his newfound skill. Activating the appraisal skill with his guild card, a sense of progress surged within him, propelling him forward with renewed determination. Over time, his contributions garnered recognition and gratitude from the townsfolk, solidifying his place within the community. Yet, as life carried on, new challenges emerged. The discovery of an ancient ruin housing a goblin nest sparked talk of a subjugation mission. Reflecting on his past decisions, he pondered the role of chance in shaping his fate. The revelation of the guild master's prosthetic leg underscored the harsh realities of their chosen path. Undeterred, he embraced the challenges ahead, mindful of the lessons imparted by Rudolph. Sword training became his focus, a reminder that true strength lay not in the weapon itself, but in the skill of its wielder. As he honed his abilities, he came to understand that reliance on cheat skills alone would not suffice. Determined to carve his own path, he embarked on a quest for wealth, utilizing his acquired skills to navigate the bustling marketplace. With each transaction, he inched closer to his goal, undeterred by the warnings of potential pitfalls. Alan, resembling a Spartan trainer, had pushed himself to the limit, making him run around 100 laps and swing his sword 100 times by day's end. Exhausted, he collapsed to the ground from fatigue. Meanwhile, Rudolph assumed he could defeat a one-horned rabbit, confident in Alan's training progress over the past days. Through hard work, training, purchasing items, appraising, and cleaning ditches, Alan managed to amass 15 million cents. At just 11 years old, after finishing his breakfast, his mother, noticing his departure, chuckled at her son's grown-up demeanor, reminding him not to stay out late due to an important day ahead. She bid him farewell as he headed to the market. Reflecting on the past year's struggles and triumphs, Alan found himself in an eerie place, utilizing his concealment skill to evade the eerie gazes around him. He approached a store. Using his appraisal skill, he discerned the password and gained access. Inside, a hooded figure inquired about his desires, to which Alan requested the scroll of alchemy. Although initially offered for 14 million, Alan's appraisal revealed it to be ordinary. Impressed by his discernment, the merchant acknowledged Alan's astute judgment and presented the genuine scroll, which Alan purchased using his guild card. Exiting the store, Alan decided to steer clear of such establishments in the future. The culmination of 2 years of hard work left Alan with a satisfying end to his quest. Returning home, his tardiness caught his mother's attention, prompting her to advise him to retire early for the pivotal day ahead, his graduation exam. The next day, facing his exam, Alan, armed with memories from his past life, tackled each challenge with confidence. Surprisingly, he completed the test within an hour, stunning his teacher with a perfect score in every subject. Skipping a grade at just 11 impressed the teacher, who foresaw a bright future for Alan in high school. Despite the 4-year wait for high school, Alan remained patient, supported by his teacher's recommendation. Celebrating with his mother, who gifted him a dismantling knife, Alan was moved by her sacrifice. Vowing to save for high school and protect his mother, Alan reassured her of his determination. Soon after, Alan received news of the lifted age restriction, enabling him to take the entrance exam for high school. Simultaneously, he attained the rank of F-rank adventurer. Despite the challenges ahead, Alan felt a newfound sense of purpose and determination. Supported by Rudolph, who recognized Alan's value, Alan embarked on quests, honing his skills and facing formidable challenges. With each triumph, Alan's confidence grew, fueled by his determination to succeed in both academia and adventure. As he ventured into the Valley of the Flying Dragon, Alan remained vigilant, mindful of the dangers that lurked ahead. Armed with his skills and determination, Alan faced each obstacle head-on, knowing that his journey was just beginning. As sleep enveloped him, he entertained the notion of stealthily slipping in to retrieve a book. But just as he drifted into the realm of dreams, the spirit of the wind god summoned him forth, rendering him immobile. With a commanding presence, the wind god presented him with a scroll, blocking any attempt at escape. Assuring him of non-malintent, the deity revealed himself as the god of the wind, a revelation that sparked doubt within Alan. While awaiting the wind god's favor, Alan observed the divine entity effortlessly handling Jerome, a wyvern, with ease. As the creature stirred awake, the wind god declared that Alan would aid them. Jerome, a wyvern lord, hesitated to shake hands, hiding behind the wind god for reassurance. It became apparent that Jerome had fallen for Melissa, a wyvern possessing traits of a sky dragon, and the wind god insisted Alan play a pivotal role in their love story to secure divine protection and the coveted scroll. Accepting the task, Alan relinquished his plan to take the book, realizing the impossibility in opposing the wind god. As he contemplated the unfolding events, he recognized Melissa from a past encounter, noting the ribbon around her tail, a memento of a mission thwarted by Amy and the Crown Prince. With danger looming, Jerome's affection for Melissa became evident as he valiantly fought off adversaries to protect her. Amidst the chaos, Alan and the wind god engaged Melissa in conversation, revealing their intentions. Despite initial skepticism, Melissa listened as Alan explained their purpose, her demeanor softening as Jerome battled against the odds. Witnessing Jerome's bravery, Melissa's admiration blossomed into gratitude, sealing their bond with a tender kiss. Satisfied with his role in uniting the pair, Alan received the wind god's blessing, paving the way for Jerome and Melissa's future. As the deity promised future gifts for the couple, Alan reflected on the peculiar encounter, pondering Amy's fate and the ramifications of the wind god's intervention. With the divine task complete, Alan turned his attention to Friesen village, where an unfinished mission awaited. Determined to secure high-speed transportation, he embarked on building a motor glider, utilizing his alchemical prowess and engineering skills. Despite setbacks, including the loss of precious wyvern magic stones, Alan persevered, readying himself for future adventures. Upon testing the glider, Alan soared through the skies, exhilarated by the freedom of flight. However, a miscalculation led to a risky landing in a lake, resulting in the loss of his makeshift alchemical creations. Despite the mishap, Alan pressed on, greeted by Rudolph and his concerned mother, Monica, who whisked him away for a much-needed bath, oblivious to the whirlwind of events Alan had just experienced. In a world where even a simple shower held magical properties, its costliness underscored its rarity. Yet, amidst this luxury, Alan found himself contemplating deeper matters while donning fresh clothes retrieved from the guild. Despite the completion of his inaugural expedition, introspection gripped him tightly. Memories of his past life haunted him, whispering of perceived failures as an engineer and echoing the trauma of a glider accident. With each recollection, Alan felt the weight of inadequacy press upon him, like a child trapped in the guise of an adult, stumbling through life's maze. Beside a tranquil lake, procrastination gripped him, weaving dreams of glider modifications to mitigate future perils. The notion of crafting a Vol airplane danced before him, beckoning with promises of innovation and adventure. But amidst his musings, the scroll of multiple chanting taunted him, its elusive presence teasing his aspirations. Undeterred, Alan resolved to forge ahead, relying on his ingenuity to forge a path forward. The prospect of smelting items in rapid succession offered a glimmer of hope, a beacon in the fog of uncertainty. As he took flight once more, navigating the azure expanse with newfound determination, Alan pondered the intricacies of his journey. Blueprints and magical reserves vied for his attention, demanding meticulous balance in pursuit of his goals. With each ascent, he inched closer to his destination. Driven by a relentless pursuit of knowledge and power, the Tower of the Sage loomed before him, its ancient spires whispering secrets of old. With practiced precision, Alan navigated its heights, propelled by a singular purpose. The acquisition of the elusive scroll fueled his resolve, each step a testament to his unwavering determination. Yet, as victory lay within his grasp, uncertainty clouded Alan's mind. The spectre of departure loomed large, casting a shadow over his triumph. With a heavy heart, he selected his prize, knowing that his journey was far from over. In the annals of history, a sage once graced the world with his boundless wisdom, his legacy immortalized in tales of old. But fate, ever fickle, had conspired to entrap his essence within a magical scroll, a relic coveted by Alan in his quest for mastery. The Forest of Illusion beckoned, a labyrinth of secrets and shadows where the elves dwelled in secrecy. Though Alan's path was clear, the dangers that lurked within tested his resolve. With each passing moment, the veil of concealment threatened to unravel, exposing him to unseen perils. As he descended upon the Elven village, Alan found himself ensnared in a web of suspicion and mistrust. Despite his intentions, his presence stirred unrest among the inhabitants, casting doubt upon his motives. But amid the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. Through diplomacy and cunning, Alan earned the trust of the village elders, his prowess as a protector acknowledged with reverence. Yet, as darkness descended upon the forest, a new threat emerged, its origins shrouded in mystery. With allies at his side and courage in his heart, Alan braced himself for the trials that lay ahead, knowing that only through unity could they hope to prevail. And so, as the stage was set for a showdown of epic proportions, Alan stood ready to face whatever challenges fate had in store. For in the heart of darkness, a hero's journey truly begins. An individual initially labelled as a sorcerer, though he vehemently protested, claiming to be a middle-aged virgin, much to Alan's surprise. Despite some conversation, Alan remained curious, delving further into the man's peculiar virgin status. The man, named Lingers, revealed that his parents had enforced this condition upon him, leaving Alan perplexed. Lingers, in turn, expressed a desire to encounter the spirit of the elves' village, one purported to have existed for millennia yet taking the form of a young girl, a legal peculiarity causing discomfort among the elves. As suspicions arose regarding Lingers' intentions, Alan confronted him, accusing him of potentially nefarious motives, particularly concerning his interest in young girls. Lingers defended himself, asserting his admiration for beauty devoid of harmful intent. Alan wrestled with his conscience, initially condemning Lingers as a potential threat, yet gradually reassessing his actions. However, when Alan pointed out Lingers' inadvertent role in disturbing the spirit, the wizard conceded, acknowledging his wrongdoing. Remorseful, Lingers confessed to his lack of gentility, prompting Alan to insist on his departure. Lingers, confused, mentioned his intent to visit the village of elves, unaware he was already amidst it, further surprising Alan. Upon learning of Lingers' quest for an elixir, Alan guided him to the Elven Queen, who, recognizing the potential benefit, instructed her people to procure the necessary ingredients. As Lingers departed, cheers erupted, with even the Queen perceiving him as superior, indicative of his perceived importance to the elves. Alan found solace in the village's hot spring, reflecting on the tumultuous events. Yet, unease lingered as an Elven individual cautioned him about watching his back, hinting at potential danger. Subsequently, amidst a strange commotion in the village, the Queen announced the birth of the Spirit of Light, a rare occurrence after centuries. To Alan's bewilderment, the spirit credited him with her existence, attributing it to his aid in concocting the elixir, renamed Lu. The former spirit Lingers had transformed into, solidifying the bond between them. Lu presented Alan with a chant scroll as gratitude, embodying her transformation into a lowly, a concept Alan struggled to comprehend fully. Despite the chaotic emotions, Alan accepted the gesture, acknowledging Lu's sincerity. As Alan prepared to depart, he received tokens of appreciation from the elves, including an amulet symbolizing their friendship. With promises to return, Alan bid farewell, contemplating his next endeavors, including his mission to slay goblins and the newfound complexities of his journey ahead. He realized with a triumphant grin that he had dispatched it with 3 precise shots to the chest, claiming a magic stone as his reward. As Alan kept wielding his firearm, the skirmishes began to feel less daunting, almost like a mere illusion. By day's end, he had vanquished 12 goblins, a feat that bolstered his confidence and sense of control over the situation. After settling his dues, Alan found himself contemplating the possibility of revisiting the labyrinth. Despite spending a week in the forest without encountering any goblins, the allure of the labyrinth beckoned to him. In the gaming realm, confronting and defeating goblins terrorizing villagers was a pivotal event, pivotal in boosting one's level. Yet, lurking within labyrinths were formidable bosses, shrouded in mystery regarding the true purpose of their existence. As Alan delved deeper into his thoughts, he questioned the necessity of outright annihilating the labyrinth to navigate it effectively. Equipped with a magical lantern acquired from the guild at a hefty price of 300,000 cents, Alan ventured. This lantern, illuminated by Mona's magic without emitting heat or smoke, proved to be both a blessing and a curse. Its light inadvertently attracted more goblins, complicating Alan's attempts to conceal himself effectively. Navigating the labyrinth, Alan's path intersected with 2 goblins, their presence amplified by the lantern's glow. Soon, he found himself confronting a football-sized fish, its sight triggering unwelcome memories of labyrinthine challenges. Despite the obstacles, Alan pressed on with determination, swiftly traversing the labyrinth's treacherous corridors until he reached its deepest recesses, the 5th floor. Here, guarded by formidable bosses, lay the labyrinth's core. Confronting the Goblin King, Alan strategized to neutralize the monster's minions first, recognizing their pivotal role in the battle. Employing his wind magic, he dispersed the minions before turning his attention to the towering Goblin King. With relentless gunfire, Alan inflicted intense pain upon the monstrous ruler, prompting a furious retaliation with a massive hammer. Drawing from his gaming experiences, Alan remained resolute in the face of danger. Depleting his arsenal, he resorted to his last resort, a bomb hurled at the monster, engulfing it in a thunderous explosion. Seizing the opportune moment, Alan aimed his Kalashnikov with precision, obliterating the monster's head in a decisive blow. However, as the monstrous form convulsed in its death throes, Alan's victory was tinged with apprehension. Collecting the magic stones posed a formidable challenge, compounded by the labyrinth's imminent collapse upon its destruction. Contemplating his next move, Alan weighed the risks and rewards, knowing that touching the core would transport him back to the labyrinth's entrance. Returning to the guild, Alan regaled his comrades with tales of his labyrinthine exploits, earning admiration and accolades. However, beneath the surface, the use of unconventional tactics left him feeling conflicted and ashamed. Despite Monica's warm welcome, Alan departed hastily, intent on securing a better price for the Goblin King's magic stone and enhancing his status as an adventurer. Anticipating recognition and financial gain, Alan resolved to purchase a new home, a symbol of his aspirations for a brighter future. Upon returning home, he found solace in his mother's embrace, her concern for his well-being a constant source of comfort. Engaging in heartfelt conversation, they discussed their dreams and aspirations, each determined to carve out a better life for the other. The following day, accompanied by his mother, Alan embarked on a quest to find a new residence. Their journey led them to Rudolph, a venerable figure in the guild whose endorsement bolstered Alan's confidence. Despite initial reservations, Rudolph vouched for Alan's character, affirming his potential as a promising adventurer. Navigating the complexities of real estate, Alan's mother expressed gratitude to Monica for her assistance, acknowledging Alan's worth as a valuable investment. As they settled into their new abode, Alan couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and gratitude for his newfound companions, whose unwavering support had propelled him towards a brighter future. In the midst of celebration and camaraderie, however, Alan found himself embroiled in an unexpected predicament. Amidst the joviality of the guild banquet, Rudolph's drunken advances towards Alan's mother cast a shadow over the festivities, prompting Alan to confront his mentor's indiscretion with a heavy heart. Despite the challenges and uncertainties that lay ahead, Alan remained steadfast in his resolve to protect those he held dear. With each passing day, he honed his skills and forged new bonds, determined to carve out his own path in a world fraught with danger and opportunity. Brethren Alan found himself amidst the dense foliage of Orc Forest, a bastion established by locals to combat the relentless onslaught of mountain orcs. These formidable creatures posed a grave threat to the nearby human settlements, yet their flesh held great value, prompting residents to create a fortified woodland zone for defense. Alan, unbeknownst to him, embarked on a mission to quell this danger. Unaware of the intricate connections between these orcs and the enigmatic Great Orc Maze, his next challenge on the path to advancement, equipped with hollow bullets designed for maximum impact, Alan's arsenal was tailored for the task at hand. Hummingbirds and Kalashnikovs stood ready for encounters with more formidable foes. As dusk fell, Alan indulged in the spoils of his victory, savoring the meat of the fallen orcs with a peculiar sense of satisfaction. Strangely, he awoke the next day to find himself unclothed, a curious phenomenon that puzzled onlookers. Undeterred, Alan ventured into the Grand Orc Maze, a labyrinthine domain where victory lay not in collecting flesh but in harvesting magic stones. Employing familiar tactics, he navigated through lesser adversaries, weaving through smokescreens and utilizing concealment to confound his foes. Yet, as he faced the final boss, a cunning Orc King, Alan encountered unexpected resistance. Manipulating magic with prowess, the king orchestrated a relentless assault, forcing Alan to adapt swiftly. Through guile and grit, Alan outmaneuvered his adversaries, culminating in a climactic showdown. Dodging blows and exploiting vulnerabilities, He emerged triumphant, claiming not only victory, but also a curious artifact, a fertility bracelet, a baffling addition to his spoils. With the orcs vanquished and the elf village restored to tranquility, Alan found solace in the simple joys of life, frequenting the village marketplace and nurturing friendships. Yet, his journey was far from over. As he reached the threshold of adolescence, new challenges beckoned. A daunting maze awaited in Wind Mountain, promising trials beyond compare. Embracing the unknown, Alan braved the treacherous depths of the Wind Mountain labyrinth alone, armed with naught but his wits and a newfound weapon, a Sadar 12 shotgun. Through skillful navigation and strategic prowess, he shattered records and unearthed hidden treasures, including relics of immense power. Confronting the formidable Blizzard Phoenix, Alan faced his greatest test yet. Through cunning and resilience, he emerged victorious, claiming not only victory, but also invaluable artifacts, a sword of celestial might and a magic stone synthesizer, promising untold potential. Yet as Alan's legend grew, so too did the demands of his newfound fame. Tasked with escorting a spirited young girl named Carlin, Alan found himself thrust into a perilous journey fraught with danger and camaraderie. Alongside fellow adventurers, he navigated treacherous terrain, forging bonds and facing adversaries with unwavering resolve. As Alan's journey continues, new challenges and adventures await, each testifying to his indomitable spirit and unwavering courage in the face of adversity. Despite the tension of the mission, Carlin and Alan forged a remarkable camaraderie, with Carlin growing quite fond of him. Alan, known for leaving his formidable Kalashnikov and assault rifles behind, concealed a small Marov pistol under his clothes. Despite his imposing appearance, Alan grappled with the moral dilemma of using lethal force against pleading individuals, unlike the monstrous adversaries he was accustomed to facing. Carlin's gentle interruption shattered his contemplation, inquiring about his well-being. Meanwhile, Jared issued a warning about the narrowing path ahead, making them vulnerable to bandit. As their carriage pressed forward, a sudden barrage of stones from a nearby cliff obstructed their path, bringing Dirk's carriage to a halt. Bandits swiftly surrounded them, brandishing daggers and demanding their goods. In the tense standoff, a skirmish erupted, with one adventurer successfully striking a blow against a bandit. Jared then ordered Alan to employ his magical abilities against the bandits, despite Alan's internal struggle with using such powers against fellow humans. Reluctantly, Alan unleashed his wind magic, injuring one of the assailants and causing the rest to flee. However, Alan's compassion and moral quandaries prevented him from eliminating the remaining bandits, much to Jared's fury. Jared emphasized the importance of neutralizing such threats, likening them to monsters that could harm others in the future. Despite the celebration of victory among the other adventurers, Jared's disappointment in Alan's mercy was paramount. The events took a surprising turn as Carlin and a group of children approached, curious to witness Alan's wind magic. Amidst the village's joyful welcome, Alan's discomfort grew as he observed the unique customs of the village, including the practice of male visitors fertilizing the women to prevent their blood from thickening. However, the tranquility was shattered when news arrived that Carlin had been kidnapped while playing outside the village walls. Fueled by guilt and remorse, Alan resolved to rescue Carlin and the other children, blaming himself for the predicament. Despite Jared's initial reluctance, they embarked on a mission to confront the bandits and save the captives. As they approached the bandits' hideout, Alan's determination to approach stealthily clashed with Jared's caution. However, Alan's confidence in his abilities and his plan to rescue the children prevailed, despite the risks involved. With Jared's reluctant trust, Alan ventured into the hideout, utilizing his magic to remain undetected. Inside the cave, Alan encountered numerous bandits, but his focus remained on finding the abducted children, particularly Carlin. With careful navigation and magical assessment, Alan located the captives, including Carlin, determined to bring them all to safety, no matter the cost. As the nearby door creaked open, the room was filled with ominous sounds that sent shivers down Alan's spine. Stepping inside, he was met with a distressing sight. A man with a look of rage in his eyes, attempting to harm Carlin. Fueled by adrenaline, Alan swiftly moved, using his fist to subdue the assailant until he no longer posed a threat. Carlin, frightened yet relieved, found herself safe once more in this perilous situation. Alan extended his hand, offering reassurance and safety. With a mix of embarrassment and delight, Carlin almost shouted his name, but Alan quickly silenced her, urging her not to make noise. Calming her down, Alan took her hand and led her to a secure place while he focused on rescuing other children. Sealing the room with a stone to prevent anyone from finding it, Alan activated a concealment spell before proceeding to the prison room where the children were held. There, he encountered a guard sitting with a gun. After a moment's hesitation, he decisively took action, shooting the guard in the head, ending the threat instantly. Though the children were frightened and tearful, Alan urged them to remain quiet as he led them to safety. Creating a thinner stone to seal the room from the inside, Alan instructed the children to cover their ears before drawing a spell, seal visible to the bandits. With a powerful explosion, Alan exerted his magic, incapacitating the bandits who were unable to comprehend the situation. Amidst the chaos, Jared, surprised by the explosion, realized it was the signal he had awaited. Alan swiftly ensured the children's safety before assessing the situation outside. Despite encountering injured survivors, Alan prioritized evacuating the children, swiftly neutralizing any threats that arose. Back in the village, Alan was hailed as a hero, praised for his bravery and quick thinking. The heads of the bandits who had attacked the children were hung on the village's fence as a form of public humiliation, a grim reminder of the consequences of such actions. With the immediate threat neutralized, Alan's senpai instructed him to prepare for their journey back to the capital. As they made preparations, Alan received gratitude from the children he had rescued, promising to show them his wind magic again someday. Upon returning to the guild, Alan was recognized as the youngest adventurer to achieve a tree rank, marking a significant milestone in his journey. Amidst the accolades, Katerina, proud yet saddened by his departure, hugged him tightly, expressing her pride and best wishes for his future. Finally, Alan began his school life at the Royal Academy, where he found himself among classmates of noble birth. Despite initially feeling invisible among them, a surprising encounter with Amy von Breus, a commoner like himself, opened new possibilities, challenging his expectations and setting the stage for unforeseen adventures ahead. Completely obliterating it caught everyone off guard, especially Alan, who hadn't anticipated such a drastic move from the final boss of the autumn game. Instead of garnering admiration, the Crown Prince's actions elicited anger, with him accusing Anastasia of mockery. She attempted to clarify, but his fury only escalated. Determined to assert his true power, he instructed her to step aside. As she complied, he unleashed his magic, but it unexpectedly backfired, erupting in his hand. Thinking fast, Anastasia conjured a barrier of ice to contain the explosion, preventing further harm and safeguarding the other students. Despite her genuine desire to converse with the Crown Prince, she found him already attended to by Amy, who held his hand and employed her magic. This sight stoked Anastasia's ire. Alan, concerned about the efficacy of Amy's healing, was relieved when it proved successful and the Crown Prince regained consciousness. Though Anastasia offered assistance, she was rebuffed, the Crown Prince solely expressing gratitude towards Amy. Feeling slighted, Anastasia withdrew, leaving them to their devices within the game. However, she knew that real healing required time. Amy's subsequent closeness with Crown Prince Carl incited jealousy among the other girls, who openly slighted her, aligning themselves either with Anastasia or the Crown Prince. In a pivotal moment, Anastasia admonished her friends for their crude behavior, prompting contrition and compliance. Meanwhile, Amy sought attention from the male peers, utilizing bullying tactics to ingratiate herself. Alan pondered the dissonance between Amy's in-game persona and her real-life actions, uncertain if events were following the game's script. He reflected on Amy's transition from a commoner to an aristocrat, enduring bullying with her charm as her only defense. Details such as Amy's shower scene perplexed him, questioning their relevance in the narrative. Outside the school, public opinion favored the egotistical Crown Prince, despite his disregard for others' perspectives. Concerns brewed among those aware of his dismissive nature. Meanwhile, Alan remained a shadow in academic life, unnoticed by his peers. As summer holidays approached, students prepared research papers crucial for class placement. To Alan's surprise, Anastasia sought his assistance, acknowledging his prowess despite his scholarship status. Initially puzzled by her intentions, Alan later found himself roped into guiding characters from an Otome game through a maze. Within the labyrinth, tensions rose, with Amy's familiarity with the environment raising suspicions of her reincarnation. Despite the Crown Prince's complaints, Anastasia's calm demeanor prevailed. Alan's stories intrigued her, standing out amidst the group's disinterest. Exiting the maze, Anastasia thanked Alan, signaling a subtle shift in their dynamic. She then invited him to spend time together, showcasing her dedication to their shared project. As they delved into research, Alan admired Anastasia's commitment to fostering peace between nations, despite the challenges posed by aristocratic politics. Together, they overcame obstacles, completing the report and earning the Crown Prince's acknowledgement. Despite the initial skepticism, Alan found himself drawn to Anastasia's cause, recognizing the importance of their collaboration for the future of their country. Claiming it was excessively verbose, he insisted they condense everything into a succinct 3-minute summary. Though Alan begrudgingly complied, his patience worn thin by the entitled prince's demands, he couldn't ignore the forlorn look in Anastasia's eyes. Reluctantly, he simplified the report for the Crown Prince, recognizing Anastasia's distress. To his surprise, the Crown Prince commended their efforts before departing, leaving Alan frustrated with the situation. Anastasia apologized to Alan for the Crown Prince's behavior, her sorrowful expression weighing heavily on him. Despite his irritation with the aristocracy, Alan continued to support her, leading to their report being highly praised among the Academy's professors and beyond. However, Alan found himself criticized for not receiving proper credit, a situation he planned to rectify come winter. As autumn arrived, signaling the upcoming cultural festival, Alan found himself anxious about participating. While he had submitted a solo application, Anastasia approached him, offering her assistance. Embarrassed, Alan admitted his plans, prompting Anastasia to suggest helping the Crown Prince instead, wishing him luck before departing. Conflicted, Alan considered reaching out to Amy or Anastasia's group, intrigued by their conversation. Utilizing his concealment ability, he eavesdropped on their discussion, witnessing Amy's domineering behavior towards Anastasia. Feeling angered by Amy's actions, Anastasia asserted her worth, prompting Amy's manipulative tactics. The Crown Prince's unexpected arrival left Anastasia distraught, ordered to clean the room despite Amy's instigation. Witnessing the altercation, Alan realized Amy's true intentions, leading him to contemplate stopping her. Reflecting on his lack of power, he pondered the potential consequences of his actions. Transitioning to Amy's perspective, she reflects on her past and her newfound status as an aristocrat's illegitimate child. Observing Alan and Anastasia, she sees potential threats to her position, particularly Anastasia's closeness to the Crown Prince. Manipulating situations to her advantage, Amy schemes to maintain her influence, even as Anastasia challenges her. As tensions escalate, Alan becomes a thorn in Amy's side, disrupting her plans and forcing her to confront her own ambitions. Despite her efforts to maintain control, Amy finds herself increasingly frustrated by Alan's interference, ultimately leading to a confrontation that prompts Alan to contemplate his role in the unfolding drama. Anastasia gathered her thoughts, maintaining her composure until the very end. Recollections flooded her mind, particularly of the evening when Alan had come to her rescue in her room. The next morning, Alan's arrival by plane was met with complaints about the biting cold, though he found solace in the chilly weather's ability to preserve the freshness of the luggage he had brought. Delaying the opening of his stall until later at the school festival, Alan's anticipation grew. As the festival commenced, Anastasia serendipitously encountered Margaret, who extended an invitation to explore. Anastasia agreed, and the two noble girls embarked on a journey through the festivities, eventually stumbling upon Alan's stall, much to their surprise. There, they discovered he was selling orc meat. While Anastasia was taken aback, Margaret, hailing from Alund where orc meat was a delicacy, found herself unable to resist the temptation. However, Anastasia noticed the cautious distance maintained by other students, prompting Margaret to explain the unease surrounding consuming orc meat in the capital due to its non-native status. This observation sparked an idea in Anastasia's mind. Meanwhile, Alan, disheartened by the noble's shocked reactions, contemplated taking any leftover meat to the guild. Upon Anastasia and Margaret's approach to order orc meat skewers, Alan, learning of Margaret's origins, offered her a taste, ensuring the freshness of the meat. Margaret's experience with the orc meat invoked sensations akin to scenes from Shokugeki Noa, leaving her astounded by its quality and affordability. Despite initial reservations, Anastasia found herself enjoying the unique delicacy. As more students became intrigued and began ordering from Alan's stall, Anastasia and Margaret bid their farewells, leaving Alan genuinely grateful. However, he couldn't shake the feeling that Amy was orchestrating events behind the scenes. Nonetheless, he continued with the festival, eventually stumbling upon the Crown Prince's exhibit, devoid of any attendees. The exhibit, titled Life in the Kingdoms Downtown, failed to accurately depict the realities of commoners' lives, prompting Alan to ponder the noble's limited understanding. Encountering Margaret again, Alan was warmly invited to their group's embroidery exhibit, where he was surprised to find Anastasia, now clad in a simple dress. Anastasia revealed her expulsion from the Crown Prince's group, with Margaret inviting her to join the embroidery exhibit, unveiling Anastasia's hidden talent. As the festival drew to a close, Alan couldn't help but notice Anastasia's flushed face, prompting playful banter about her supposed sweet tooth. However, beneath the light-hearted facade, tensions brewed. The award ceremony concluded with the Crown Prince's exhibit claiming first place, despite Alan's reservations regarding the authenticity of their portrayal of poverty. As the festival concluded, Alan's concerns for Anastasia's future mounted, foreseeing potential condemnation amidst escalating tensions orchestrated by Amy. Yet, amidst the chaos, Anastasia found unexpected allies, and Alan realized that perhaps, despite the deviations from the expected storyline, happiness could still be found in unforeseen circumstances. As the events unfolded, Amy's smirk widened, pleased that her carefully laid plans were progressing just as she had anticipated. Later, a grand party took place, hosted by Carl, the Crown Prince, to celebrate his award-winning exhibit. During his self-praising speech, Alan felt a growing sense of discomfort, particularly when Margaret approached him with another noble girl, named Isabella, expecting to be classmates in the upcoming term. However, Alan couldn't shake off the uncertainty about his own future in the school. Finally, as Carl concluded his long, narcissistic speech thanking everyone, Amy's expression turned grim. Carl then unexpectedly called his fiancée, Anastasia, to step forward in front of everyone, declaring the cancellation of their engagement. Anastasia, surprised and unsure, questioned the decision, especially since Amy, who wasn't even a noble, seemed to be the instigator. Amy, reveling in the moment, secretly hoped Carl would further criticize Anastasia. Anastasia, however, warned Carl of the consequences of his actions. Alan, observing Anastasia's demeanor, realized that Carl's actions had made her realize his lack of commitment long ago. Carl, in his arrogance, mocked the Ramlet family, Anastasia's lineage, only aggravating the situation. Amy, seizing the opportunity, added insult to injury, suggesting Anastasia was lucky to have had Carl's affection initially, given her humble background. Anastasia, betrayed and shocked by Amy's words, decided to take formal action against the Ramlet family. Amy, in turn, accused Anastasia of cowardice, prompting Anastasia to leave. Leo intervened, urging Anastasia to address the issue herself before involving her family. Carl, meanwhile, provoked Anastasia further, suggesting a duel. Surprisingly, Anastasia accepted, leading to a confrontation orchestrated by Amy. As tensions escalated, Alan volunteered to represent Anastasia, much to everyone's surprise. Carl, recalling Alan as his former classmate, reluctantly accepted. The stage was set for a duel, with Anastasia and Alan on one side and Carl's entourage on the other. Despite the odds, Alan remained calm and confident, much to Anastasia's concern. Anastasia's worry deepened as Alan revealed his impressive background as a skilled adventurer. Despite her apprehension, Alan assured her of victory. Meanwhile, Amy, expecting Anastasia's defeat, found herself surprised by Alan's unexpected tactics and dedication. As the duel commenced, Alan's strategy took everyone by surprise. Utilizing smoke screens and non-lethal tactics, he swiftly incapacitated his opponents. The chaos and confusion worked in his favor as he systematically defeated each challenger, leaving Anastasia relieved and impressed by his skill. Alan's unexpected victory left Amy reeling, realizing her plans had backfired. Meanwhile, Anastasia found herself grateful for Alan's unwavering support and determination. As the dust settled, Alan emerged victorious, securing Anastasia's honor and proving his loyalty beyond doubt. His prowess in offensive magic, despite others behaving with entitlement, set Alan apart. He treated Carl with a unique respect, yet his sudden strike left Amy bewildered. How could a mere outsider overpower the formidable foes of the game? Alan's actions shattered her ideal realm, while Anastasia's astonishment mirrored her inner questioning of his character. With half of their group incapacitated, Marcus and Alan, as pivotal figures in the game, confronted each other. Alan, though impressed by Marcus's familial threat, questioned if it was directed towards the Ramlet family. Asserting his logical stance, he called for a duel, challenging Marcus's accusations against Anastasia. As tensions rose, Alan asserted Amy's culpability in provoking Anastasia. Amid their heated exchange, Amy anticipated Marcus's magical retaliation. Yet, Alan insisted on apologies to Anastasia's family, denouncing their short-sightedness despite their future roles. With a resolute gesture, he silenced Marcus, shocking the onlookers. Accusations flew as Alan confronted Carl's underhanded tactics. Amy decried Alan's methods, sparking a debate over the validity of the duel. Alan dismissed Carl's cowardice, exposing the truth behind the rumors and Amy's involvement. In a poignant moment, Carl revealed his inner conflict as a royal torn between duty and personal desires. Alan, intrigued by Carl's complexity, offered insight into the commoner's life, urging empathy and understanding. Despite their differences, Alan recognized Carl's humanity, suggesting a shared experience with Amy. As tensions peaked, Alan's impassioned speech resonated, prompting introspection. However, Carl's desperate spell threatened chaos, met with Anastasia's panicked counter. Yet, Alan's calm demeanor deflected the danger, securing victory with ease. Amidst the aftermath, Anastasia's gratitude towards Alan revealed her concern for his well-being. Alan, in turn, acknowledged her selflessness, departing with humility and gratitude. Despite her attempts to reach out, Anastasia's duty intervened, leaving her torn between responsibility and concern for Alan's departure. Haunted by Alan's cryptic words, Anastasia sought him out, only to find an empty room and a fleeting presence. Alan's absence left her reeling, grappling with the uncertainty of his departure. As she navigated the aftermath, Anastasia's thoughts lingered on Alan, his enigmatic presence leaving a profound impact on her. Learning that Alan had departed for good while Alan trudged back home with his meager belongings, he couldn't shake the bitter taste of defeat from the duel. Despite his best efforts, fortune had forsaken him. Regrettably, the nobles persisted in their harassment, goading him with their barbs, hoping for a reprieve to escape the looming spectre of execution. Upon his return home, Karina, his mother, greeted him with surprise at the sight of him laden with possessions. Sensing her curiosity, Alan, though initially hesitant, eventually unburdened himself to her that night. He recounted his noble act of supporting a duke's unfairly treated daughter, risking expulsion as consequence. Understanding Karina's aspirations for his graduation and financial security, Alan apologized for entangling her in his troubles. To his astonishment, Karina's response was one of unwavering support and pride in his stand for justice. As Alan divulged the involvement of the crown prince and a foreign prince, he pondered whether simply dropping out of school would suffice as punishment. However, Karina, prioritizing his safety above all else, suggested he flee while she faced the repercussions in his stead. Despite Alan's insistence on shouldering the consequences, Karina's maternal instincts prevailed, urging him to retire for the night. Alone with his thoughts, Alan wrestled with doubts about his ability to safeguard his mother and others in the future, the fear of inadequacy gnawing at him. In a poignant moment, Karina ventured into Alan's sanctuary, sharing her apprehension of the attic ladder, yet marveling at the view it afforded. Reflecting on his father's mysterious absence from his life, Alan felt a pang of regret for involving his mother in his predicament. Moved by Alan's courage, Karina reassured him of her unconditional pride and protection, despite his apologies for burdening her. As emotions swelled within Alan, Karina's weariness signaled the end of their heartfelt exchange, prompting Alan to gently guide her to her own quarters. The dawn brought a semblance of tranquility, easing Alan's troubled mind. Yet, his respite was short-lived as an unexpected visitor heralded a new chapter of uncertainty. Monica, a familiar face from the guild, playfully disrupted the morning calm, bringing news of companions awaiting below. Outside, amidst jests and speculation from peers, Alan's apprehension peaked at the sight of an approaching carriage, fearing it bore agents of the crown. To his relief, the carriage bore no royal insignia, but instead emissaries from the esteemed Ramlet family. Guided by the butler, Alan embarked on an unfamiliar journey into aristocratic realms, where opulence adorned every edifice. In the presence of Duke Ramlet himself, Alan was both humbled and bewildered by the unexpected gratitude extended towards him for his intervention on behalf of the Duke's daughter. As conversation unfolded, Alan found himself defending his actions, unraveling his motivations born out of loyalty and a sense of justice. Duke Ramlet, impressed by Alan's foresight and valor, offered his protection and assistance, alleviating Alan's fears for his mother's safety. Grateful yet awestruck by the Duke's generosity, Alan departed with newfound assurance, contemplating the path laid before him. Meanwhile, Duke Ramlet pondered the enigma of Alan's potential, recognizing in him a force to be reckoned with amidst the tumult of noble politics. In the quiet aftermath, Anastasia, having rushed to her father with urgent tidings, recounted Alan's role in the school's upheaval, leaving Duke Ramlet to contemplate the ramifications of his daughter's unexpected champion. In this intricate dance of fate and fortune, Alan's journey had only just begun, his resolve tested and his destiny uncertain in the ever-shifting landscape of privilege and power. An impressive adventurer skilled in magic, Gart found himself pondering the depth of Anastasia's feelings for Alan. Anastasia's blush and gentle rebuke startled him, prompting Gart to apologize for his presumptions. As Anastasia spoke of Alan with fervor, Gart realized the challenge of maintaining her engagement to the Crown Prince. Seeking insight, Gart turned to Cuse for information about Alan. After reviewing Cuse's report, both Gart and Anastasia were impressed by Alan's exceptional qualities. Anastasia fervently argued that Alan was indispensable to the country's welfare. As the night deepened, Gart urged Anastasia to rest, but her concerns for Alan lingered. Recognizing the gravity of his daughter's predicament, Gart was taken aback when Anastasia entered the room and echoed his apprehensions. In a heartfelt moment, Gart resolved to visit the royal palace with Anastasia to confirm her commitment to protecting Alan. Tearfully, Anastasia agreed, solidifying their bond as father and daughter. Meanwhile, Alan, riding in a carriage, sought Anastasia's whereabouts. Sayos, the informant, informed him of Anastasia's unavailability. Alan, wearing a crestfallen expression, feared Anastasia harbored resentment toward him for his sudden disappearance. Days later, Katerina summoned Alan, revealing an invitation from Gart for dinner. Surprised at the prospect of reuniting with Anastasia, Alan and Katerina anxiously awaited the gathering at the Ramlet Duke house. Upon their arrival, Gart, donned in casual attire, greeted them, prompting Katerina to introduce herself. Grateful for Alan's aid in saving his daughter, Gart expressed his thanks, introducing his wife, Elizabeth, and son, Friedrich. Elizabeth, warmly embracing Alan as her daughter's benefactor, revealed a surprising guest, Elizabeth Aye, adding a twist to the evening's events. Outside the room, Anastasia confronted Alan, expressing her worries and gratitude for his actions. Despite initial tension, their conversation blossomed into mutual appreciation and understanding. Back at the dinner table, Elizabeth recounted Anastasia's concern for Alan's well-being, while Gart proposed a resolution for the recent duel incident involving the Crown Prince and Amy. As the evening unfolded, Gart reassured Alan of his status at school, offering him a job in the dukedom after graduation. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Katerina thanked Gart, moved by his maternal gestures. Before departing, Alan and Katerina expressed their appreciation, while Anna sought a private conversation with Alan, hinting at her growing feelings. With casual banter and shared laughter, the evening concluded on a harmonious note. Later, Anna proposed an exploration of the labyrinth, revealing Alan's past exploits. Unfazed by Alan's prowess, Anna requested his guidance, cementing their bond as they embarked on a new adventure together. Margaret reassured Anna that she harbored no intention of separating her from her cherished knight. In jest, Margaret even entertained the idea of offering all her treasures in exchange for Alan, but Alan couldn't bring himself to disclose that he had already amassed. Suddenly doubts began to arise among the knights from the Elven family regarding Alan's capabilities as their guide. It was challenging for them to fathom that a mere student could conquer the Goblin Labyrinth and earn the esteemed title of Orc Slayer. In response, they queried Alan about his plans, prompting him to contemplate assessing their skills first. However, the guards, acting arrogantly, insisted that Alan leave Margaret's protection to them. Undeterred, Alan led everyone into the orc labyrinth, instructing them to engage in battle so he could gauge his skills. The guards mocked him, revealing their lack of trust. Margaret then pointed out something ahead, leading them to encounter Inosuke's kin. Though a guard volunteered to attack first, Alan intervened, eager to showcase his weapon. Brandishing his gun, he kept the guards in suspense about its power, loading it with anticipation. As Anna warned of an approaching orc, the skirmish swiftly concluded when Alan fired a shot, bringing down the orc instantly. The guards stood speechless as Alan, relieved, explained that he had applied wind magic to his tool, which fired iron bullets. Impressed by the destructive weapon, the girls relied on Alan, urging them to move forward. This time, the guards heeded his command, grateful they hadn't antagonized him earlier. Witnessing his skill, they acknowledged him. Another orc then emerged, and Anna boldly stepped forward. Employing ice magic akin to using a bow and arrow, she caught the orc off guard before unsheathing her sword and proudly slashing the orc's neck. Anna pondered whom Alan would protect, surprised to see the knight's blessing in action. With Alan leading the group, the exploration continued while the knights remained vigilant against sneak attacks from behind. In the end, they swiftly defeated the Orc King and its companions, leaving the guards surprised at the ease with which the adversaries fell. Alan then elucidated the exit strategy from the labyrinth, prompting Margaret to express gratitude for his guidance. However, Anna's mind seemed occupied with something else. As they touched the labyrinth core before departing, they noticed the absence of treasures. Suddenly, Anna requested Alan for a quick race, expressing her determination not to lag behind. Cautioning against overconfidence, Alan apologized and they resumed completing laps until they managed to level up. Thus concludes the manga recap for now.